Greetings from Elite English Academy. Dear friends, in this video I am going to discuss how to prepare Indian writing in English for NET exam and how many questions are asked and what types of questions are asked from Indian writing in English. Normally the students who prepare for NET exam, they don't give much importance to Indian writing in English. But I would say after the revised syllabus, so regularly there are a few questions from Indian writing in English. Even if you go back to past questions, there are some questions in which at least 5 questions were asked. So the interesting thing is we are very much familiar with Indian writing in English than other types of literature. So if you are able to answer all the questions correct from Indian writing in English, it will help you to pass the NET exam easily. So now let's discuss some of the world questions. First, let me discuss 2019 December question. So one of the questions asked goes like this: which two of the works were published after 1947? So it is a very basic level question. The given options are The Dark Room, Sambat, a Painter of Malgudi, Seven Summers, The Big Heart. So first you have to know who are the authors of these works. So The Dark Room and Sambat are the works by R.K. Narayan, and Seven Summers and The Big Heart are by Mulkraj Anand. So if you closely analyze this, so the work The Dark Room was published in 1938, Sambat, a Printer of Malgudi, it was in 1948, Seven Summers 1951, The Big Heart 1945. So the two answers. So what is the question asked? Which of the two works were published after 1947? It is naturally one by R.K. Narayan, that is Sambat, a Painter of Malgudi, then Seven Summers by Mulkraj Anand. Another question asked: who among the following has written a series of poems entitled Very Indian Poems in Indian English? So the given options: Vikram Seth, Arun Kolatkar, Nazim Ezekiel, Keki and Darwala. So all these people are poets. Vikram Seth is both poet and novelist. So the remaining 3 are identified as poets. So here there's no logic. Just based on the collections published by these writers, we can easily finalize the answer. It is Nazim Ezekiel. So there is not much thing to discuss, just the factual question. The third question is: which of the following are autobiographical narrative? The works are Kandapura, Meatless Days, Prison and Chocolate Cake, God of Small Things. Normal preparation of NET exam will help you to understand this question very easily. So Kandapura is by Raja Rao. It is not definitely autobiographical. Then here one more option, God of Small Things. It is semi-autobiographical only. We cannot call it as complete autobiography. The remaining 2 works are there. So they are the answers. So further analysis is: Meatless Days is by Sarah Sulari. She is a Pakistani writer. She was born to Pakistani father and English mother. She has written Meatless Days, in which she has been describing how women are being tortured, or something like how they face so many problems. It is based on political history also. Next one is Prison and Chocolate Cake. It is by Nayanthara Sahal. So it is also based on autobiography. So these are the 2 works that are based on autobiography. So the other 2, see, if you know Kandapura and God of Small Things are not based on pure autobiography, then even without knowing anything about the remaining 2 works, Meatless Days, Prison and Chocolate Cake, you can decide the answer. Actually, this question cannot be called purely from Indian writing in English, but knowledge of Indian writing in English will help you to solve this question. Look at the question asked. Match the following. Edgar Allan Poe, E.M. Foster, Catherine Mansfield, Salman Rushdie. So these are the four writers given. So the corresponding works are given: The Fall of the House of Usher, The Prophet's Hair, The Garden Party, The Celestial Omnibus. Right here, Edgar Allan Poe's very famous work we know, it is The Fall of the House of Usher. So you will, in a question like this, can the question as well as option will be the same? Then it happens. So look at that. See, if you are sure of Edgar Allan Poe has written The Fall of the House of Usher, now go through the options given. So A is equal to 1. So here look at the option 3. So you have to see everything like this. So in option 1, A 3, so it is not. 2, A 4, it is not. So 3, 1, then we keep it as an option. So 4, option A, so 2. See, if you see, based on the arrangement here, even if you know one writer and complete work, then the Fall of the House of Usher, then this question can be answered. So how it is related to Indian writing in English? So there is Salman Rushdie. So Salman Rushdie has written The Prophet's Hair. So if you are sure of that, then how many questions? Fourth, D should be equal to 2. So how many it comes? So the last option, first one is 4, second one is 2, and third one is 2. So between these two, so definitely the answer should be, so 2 and 3. Between these options, answer should be there. So already if you know Edgar Allan Poe well and Salman Rushdie well, naturally you can answer this question easily. So what I try to convey here is, questions need not be asked exclusively from one age or one writer or one country. So the knowledge of one age will help you to solve the question that belongs to another age. That is the point I am trying to convey. So the given answer, so that is option 3 is the right answer. Then 4 questions related to that. One more question was also there, I did not include it, that in which Tagore figured as one of the options. I did not include it. So now coming to June 2019 question. So who is the author of the short story The Ghost of Firouzah Bagh? So very obvious and simple question. So it is Vikram Seth, V.S. Naipaul, Kiran Desai, Rohindran Mistry. Out of them, Rohindran Mistry has written 3 novels and 1 short story collection. So that is the Tales from Firouzah Bagh. If you know this small information, for this question can be easily solved. So the answer is Rohindran Mistry. Then second one, in which of the Anita Desai's novels does an insane wife kill her husband? So this is also an obvious question, because so Cry the Peacock is the work in which the wife takes the husband to the terrace and she pushes her from the terrace. So that is the easy answer. So what I am trying to convey is, even surface level facts will help you to answer the questions correct in the NET exam.
2008 question. In R.K. Narayan's Swami and Friends, which game offers Swami the best kind of emotional release from the strains and pressures of disagreeable circumstances? So there the children are playing cricket. So cricket is the obvious answer. So there Madras Cricket Club, so they have it. So
the next question is, Neeraj Chaudhary's autobiography of an unknown Indian concludes with an essay on the course of Indian history. But in the penultimate chapter, penultimate means last but one, Chaudhary concludes the account of events in his life. How does this narrative end? So unless a person reads or has read this particular work, answering this question is very difficult. So it is a deeper level question. So the options are: Chaudhary ties the knot with his childhood sweetheart, Chaudhary obtains a job in the military accounts department, Chaudhary joins the editorial team of Calcutta newspaper, Chaudhary rushes to his ancestral village Bangra. So here this is a very interesting and deeper question. So let me give you the answer. The second one. Chaudhary obtains a job in the military accounts department and gives it up because he finds it soul destroying. So this is a type of question asked. So from a prose piece, question is asked. So nothing wrong in it, quite natural. But at the same time, it specifically asks the question from the last chapter. Then 2017 question. It is a very simple question. Question cannot be asked this much simple. Who is the author of the poem Our Casuarina Tree? So it is Toru Dutt, the young poet who died long back. So the detailed discussion is available in our course also. Then the translation of Gita, that is Bhagavad Gita, into English in 1784, called Bhagavad Gita, marked in William Jones' opinion, and even that made it possible for the first time to have a reliable impression of Indian literature, who was the translator. So this is a strange question because the translator is asked, the original writer is ignored, whereas the translator is asked. So let me give you the answer for you. Charles Wilkins. Charles Wilkins is the desirable answer here. Dash is the subject of Asif Karimboy's Inqulab. So Asif Karimboy, the dramatist and novelist. So here, based on the background or theme of the work, the question is asked. So the Naxalite movement, the freedom movement, the non-cooperation movement, the Khilafat movement. So if you closely analyze, two things you can notify here. So three themes are related to pre-independent era, and one theme is related to post-independent era. So the given answer or the desirable answer is the Naxalite movement. Who among the following has translated the classic Malayalam novel Chemmin? So this is the recent question. Again, the question is based on translation. A.K. Ramanujam, Nandini Nopani, Anita Nair, Geeta Krishnakutty. Here, except one name, all the other names are Keralate's name. Chemmin, it was the Malayalam novel, right? So A.K. Ramanujam belongs to Tamil Nadu, so we can just remove it. So among the remaining three, you have to choose. The actual answer is Anita Nair. Who is the narrator in Kamala Markandeya's Nectar in a Sea? So it is a very surface level question. It is Rukmani. Repeatedly asked question. So Rukmani. So based on the analysis of some of the previous year's questions from Indian writing in English, so we understand what are the possibilities of questioning areas. First, author, the character, title. Character may be given, or just who, which is the drama, novel, it may be asked. Translator, then themes, then background. So these are the areas in which questions are asked. The other possibilities of questioning areas are chronology. So this is the difficult part because chronology of authors and chronology of works. For example, it may be given like this. A writer's 4 works may be given. We have to organize it according to the chronology of publication. Sometimes the works of different authors will be given. Then again we have to go for the chronology. So when you take a work, when it was published, who published it, what is the theme, what are the important characters that has to be understood. Then textual quote. Sometimes important lines from poems, dramas, novels are given. So what is the work or who says that, it may be asked. Then criticism. So a writer's work may be commented. For example, who called Spencer poet's poet. So it is a kind of criticism, right? It is not the criticism on the work, but on the writer. So like the different types of criticisms may be asked. So you have to become familiar with the valid comments by the contemporary writers. Then widely accepted facts. Certain things are cliches in English literature. who is the father of English criticism, who is the father of Indian novels. So like that. So just widely accepted facts in the literary world should be remembered. Then analysis of textual lines. So giving a textual line and asking for the authorship, that is one side. Another side, textual line may be given. We may have to analyze it. What is the figure of speech used? What does it convey? Like that questions may be there. Then sometimes there are interesting questions like among the following who did not get Booker Prize, among the following who did not get Jnanpith Award. So like that, so based on the awards received by the writers, the questions may be asked. So when you take a work, these are the important aspects that you have to concentrate. Now let's enter into Indian writing in English. What is Indian writing in English? It refers to the work by writers in India. They write in English. So their native or co-native language is one of the languages of India. Please remember, these writers, they have a strong base in one particular language, that is mother tongue. So either they may live here or they may go abroad. But at the same time, they continue to write in English. Indian writing in English has evolved in 3 stages. So the first category is adopt, second one adapt, third one adapt. The first stage is adopt. So this is the stage in which Indian writers in English used English, number one. Number two, adopted the Western themes. So they tried to write novels and other works to the Western audience. I hope you understand the point. Because in India, people were not familiar with English. So the Indian writers who learnt English, they wrote something in the foreign language having the foreign audience in mind. So the themes adopted by them were mostly based on the Western ideals. So the first book in English published in India is Sheikh Deen Muhammad's Travel of Deen Muhammad. It was published in 1793. So this first stage ranges up to 1900. So it earlier, so then up to 1900 this stage can be mentioned. So it is a travel narrative. First ever book in English, Sheikh Deen Muhammad's Travel of the Deen Muhammad. It is a travel narrative. Second, the first pamphlet appeared in 1806. So mostly in those times, for political reasons, the pamphlets were used. The first play in English, Krishna Mohan Banerjee's The Persecuted. It was published in 1831. Then the first magazine, Brahminical magazine, which was published in 1821 by Raja Ram Mohan Roy for political reason. Then the first novel. So a few years back, there was a question in NET exam based on this work. First novel, Bankim Chandra Chatterjee's Raj Mohan's Wife was the first novel. First it was serialized in a journal. So this is the only novel written by the writer Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, and afterwards he turned as a Bengali writer. He is from West Bengal. So after writing this novel in English, he started writing in English. Actually the question started like in the NET exam like that. So this is the writer who wrote only one novel in English and turned to the other language like that. So though it was serialized in a journal long back, it was first published as a book in 1935. So here the story, Raj Mohan is one of the aides of Madhur Ghosh. Please make a note of it. Madhur Ghosh, he plans to attack his cousin Madhav Ghosh. It is the story about two persons. Madhav Ghosh, he plans to kill his cousin Madhav Ghosh. Then there is another character, Madhur Ghosh wife Manchahini overhears the conversation. She is worried because Madhav's wife is her own sister Hema. So I hope you understand the point here. So two cousins, They have married two sisters. So as a result, the wife of Madhur Ghosh is worried about the safety of her sister's husband. As a result, she informs Hema. So you please plan like that. She informs the sister and derails the attack. As a result, Rajmohan is not happy about his wife, so misunderstanding erupts between them. So what we have to remember from this book, so Madhur Ghosh, his cousin Madhav Ghosh, Madhur Ghosh's wife Mandagini, and Madhav Ghosh's wife Hema. Madhur Ghosh tries to kill Madhav Ghosh, that is informed by Mandagini to Hema, so the plan is abandoned. So having superficial information like this will help you to answer in the exam. Then stage 2. So this particular stage ranges between 1900 till 1980. So it is then adapt. So here what happens, Indian writers started writing in English, but at the same time slowly they turned to Indian themes. So this time the audience were mostly Indians. So Rabindranath Tagore, in this stage he got Nobel Prize for Literature in 1913 for his work Geetanjali. He published Geetanjali in 1912. So detailed analysis will come later. Then Swami Vivekananda and Sarojini Naidu, the trios. So the trios of Indian writing in English are Rajarao, Mulkraj Anand and R.K. Narayan. So from the analysis of many years net question paper, what I have seen the common pattern is one question from the trios regularly asked. If not in all questions, most of the questions carry one particular question from the trios. Then in 1950s, there were some writers like Anita Desai, Kushwant Singh and Arun Joshi. These are the writers who just tried hard to take Indian writing in English to the next level. This is the third stage. The third stage, the expert stage, adapt. Indian writers using the foreign language English, using different themes, they started occupying or dominating the world literature scenario. For example, Salman Rushdie, Arundhati Roy, then Kiran Desai. These are the writers who won a Booker Prize for India. In addition to that, Amitav Ghosh, Shashi Tharoor, all these writers, they have unique places in the world literature. There are many more writers. So all the writers we will just discuss in detail. So what I am trying to convey is Indian writers in English started setting new standard in Indian writing in English, especially English literature across the world. So the publication of Midnight Children by Salman Rushdie, that marked this beginning. So he inspired many writers in India to write something more about unique themes, especially in Indian background. So this is the evolving field in Indian writing in English for the last few years, for the last 2 decades, I would say. Writers of the Indian origin who are born in India but settled in abroad. So the expatriate writing occupies a significant position between cultures and countries. Since they get experience in abroad, they try to record their own experiences in abroad and what do they miss regarding their native life. So cultural theory is mainly created by people who live in the margins. Margins. So though financially they are comfortable in abroad, they do not get the recognition that they deserve. As a result, the diaspora writers have been evolved. Diaspora means disperse, moving from one place to another. The causes of diaspora in reality are war between countries, war between tribes, the exile, forced exile, trade and slavery. Trade based diaspora is voluntary diaspora because in order to increase the fortune people move. Whereas slavery, it is a forced diaspora. When there was a war between two countries, the lost country soldiers or people are taken as slaves. So trade and slavery based diaspora, and towards greener pasture. So nowadays there are many people from India who are going for Gulf countries and other European countries for higher education and employment. So this is towards greener pastures. Whether it is voluntary diaspora or forced diaspora, the problems faced by the migrants or the people who are living in diaspora is common. The intensity may vary, but at the same time, they don't feel at home in the foreign land. So the writings of these writers, diasporic writers, they concentrate on these themes. Especially, these are the consequences of diaspora, and these are the themes used by the diasporic writers: alienation, isolation, dislocation, uprootedness, search for identity, search for roots, longing for home, pseudo patriotism, native versus settlers. So, these are the different consequences which are beautifully portrayed by diasporic writers. So, two important theorists you have to remember. First, Homi K. Bhabha. His terms like hybridity, mimicry, difference, and ambivalence, third space. So, these are the different terms you have to become familiar with. So, mimicry, so hybridity, hybridity is just having more things, multi-dimensional things in the culture. Mimicry, imitating certain things as they are. Then difference, so in spite of the mimicry, there would be difference. And ambivalence is the situation in which different cultures, without losing their originality, coexist. Then third space. So first space, native space; second space, foreign space; third space, what is that? When you go abroad, you will be neither accepted as native there, or you'll not be accepted in your own native place. So you'll be creating a third space for survival. Then there is another space, fourth space. Fourth space refers to African literature, like, so when you live as slaves or as marginalized in your own country. See, first space, your native place where you feel comfortable. Second space, the foreign land where you go for survival. Third space, in the foreign land, when you are not accepted either by the settled people and your own people, you create your own space, that is third space. Fourth space, the marginalized people, those who live in the edge of the society, even in their own country. So the literature based on Dalit literature, African literature, so they come under the category of fourth world literature. Homi K. Bhabha's works, Nation and Narration, The Location of Culture, are to be studied because these are the works that concentrate more on how the Indian based literature evolved, how different theories evolved. So, another important work is Can the Subaltern Speak? So, any person who is doing research without studying Homi K. Bhabha, Gayatri Spivak, and Rushdie's Imaginary Homelands, that will be incomplete if you choose Indian writers. So make sure you just become familiar with some of the facts based on these works. Can the Subaltern Speak? Subaltern, the marginalized people. So it is a very big book. So in which she concludes like that: the subalterns speak, but there is no one to hear. So whenever the works related to, or the works that deal with the issues related to subaltern that are not recognized, there is the painful conclusion of Gayatri Spivak. Then Salman Rushdie. So though we celebrate him as Indian writer, he calls himself as the globe trotter. So his Imaginary Homelands is one of the very important works to be noted from theory point of view. If you closely prepare for Indian writing in English, at least you can identify 75 authors. In this course, we have identified 50 most important writers in Indian writing in English, and we have given a detailed account of them. So the writers range go like this: Henry de Rosia, Rabindranath Tagore, Sarojini Naidu, Toro Dutt, Sri Aurobindo, Nissim Ezekiel, Ramanujan, P. Lal, Shiv K. Kumar, Kamala Das, R. K. Narayan, Mulk Raj Anand, Raja Rao, Salman Rushdie, Amitav Ghosh, Vikram Seth, Rohindran Mistry, Bharati Mukherjee, Anita Desai, Sashi Deshpande, Arundhati Roy, Jhumpa Lahiri, Amit Chaudhary, Chitra Bharati Devakaruni, Anita Nair, Girish Karnad, Vijay Tendulkar, Badal Sirkar, Mahesh Dattani, Upamanyu Chatterjee, Anandamurthy, Arun Kolatkar, Bama, Bipin Chandra, Desani, Dilip Chitre, Geeta Mehta, Khushwant Singh, Mahashweta Devi, Manju Kabur, Manohar Malkongar, Meena Alexander, Nayanthara Sahgal, Niraj C. Chaudhary, Pankaj Mishra, Ruth Prawar Jabala, Sudha Murthy, Vikram Chandra, and Irvin Allen Seeley. See, so based on these writers, you can easily spot whatever questions we discussed so far, they belong to any one of these writers, right? So if you understand what is there at the superficial level in most of the writers, then you can easily understand and answer any question that is asked in the exam. Dear friends, as discussed for Indian writing in English, in every age, important writers are identified and their works are analyzed in detail. If you wish to join Elite English Academy for your NET exam preparation, feel free to call 6381458485. Thank you. All the best.